All right. Hello. Happy Wednesday. I hope you are all doing well. I am getting ready to do the stars of Facebook. Now, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on this because I got other things to do, quite frankly. I've got to focus on my Patreons, but I did break this down just a little bit, and I will be doing TikTok and the founder of, or not the founder, but the CEO of TikTok as well. Like I said, it's the end of the month, so I've got some deadlines to meet with my Patreons for their energy forecast for April. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on the next few days. But first week in April, I will be doing the stars of TikTok and the stars of Mr. Chu, who is the CEO. But let's get started here. Like I said, I didn't go into too in-depth analysis here, and I do have the chart up. It is a little quiet in here. However, after I am done doing this, if there's anyone that wants a little mini reading from me, please, by all means, come on in and give me your date of birth, and we'll run the stars and see what we get. But for now, you are looking at the chart of Facebook, which was created on the February 4th, 2004. Now, I did get this from Google. Hey, Lady Eyes of Green, how are you, hon? I did get this from Google, so consider the source. I have so many comments on here about shit like this that it's so irrelevant. Um, and I did make sure my dyslexia was in check today, so I didn't read the birthday wrong. I've dealt with dyslexia ever since I was a kid, mostly with numbers, not words. And so sometimes I get my numbers confused. Any of you who've had a full life reading from me know that when I'm doing your reading, I will always reiterate your date of birth. That's a safety net for not just myself, but for you too, so that I get it right. But as I said, I'm going to reiterate this. Date of the inception of Facebook is February 4th, 2004. I do not have a birth time. Almost. Oh, that's good. Yep. You're almost done. Um, so Facebook was created when the dragon's head was in Taurus and the tail was in Scorpio, which means if you count back 2004 to 2014, a dragon return happens for each and every one of us as humans. Hey, Christopher, how are you, hon? A dragon's return happens for each and every one of us every 19 to 20 years. So Facebook is sitting right on its dragon's return because it has a natal dragon's head in Taurus, the tail is in Scorpio, and this is where it makes perfect sense. This company was created in a Aquarius energy, February 4th. So its sun sign is Aquarius. However, when we're dealing with businesses, corporations, companies, we disregard some things. The moon is one of them because the moon is emotions, and the only, mammals have emotions. Humans have emotions, even animals have emotions. So um, I don't pay any attention to the moon, and because I don't have an exact time, I won't be able to do an ascending or a rising sign. The black moon Lilith isn't accurate, and the midheaven will not be accurate. But everything else on this chart is going to be 100% accurate. So if you want to know about Zuckerberg stars, go and look at the video I did the other day. It says explicit language on it. And the only reason, as much as I love TikTok, and I do love TikTok, and I prefer TikTok over Facebook. TikTok is not really a place to go live, because you get every idiot out of the, every idiot comes out of the woodwork, so to speak. So the other day when I was doing this, I had so many, I'm reading some of these, and I had gotten a community guideline violation. I didn't, so there was a comment in my live. I'm hoping to God no one saw. It was incredibly racist towards the CEO of TikTok. I screenshotted that while I was live. You might have seen me doing something with my camera. That was me screenshotting it. When I got that community guideline violation, I showed the screenshot of what was being said, and that they took it away. So my live was okay, but still, it's a little stressful to go live. I don't even go live anymore on Facebook. I kind of stick to this platform. So once again, going into Facebook now. Facebook is born in the sun sign of Aquarius with a dragon's head in Taurus, the tail in Scorpio. So let's talk about this dragon's tail and head first, because this is really, this is coming full circle. The 19, 20 years that this company has been in business, it's coming full circle in some ways, because it's sitting on the 4th house. The dragon's head is on the 4th. The tail is in the 10th. So when you have, the 10th house, let's talk about where this tail is. I'm going to put my cursor right where that tail is. I'm glad to hear that, Christopher. So the tail, let's talk about this because it's in Scorpio. Anytime you have a tail sitting in the 10th house, the 10th house is career in a human being. But in a app, this is its service, not service to the world, but its accomplishments, its goals, how future sees this company, how the world at large sees this company. Now the tail is sitting there. So this means that Facebook is having trouble in their financial sector, in their business sector in some way. Okay. I just read this morning that over 1 million Gen Zers went on Facebook and gave it a 1 star, dropping Zuckerberg stocks just a little bit. If you listen to my other broadcast about Zuckerberg, I told you that Gen Z generation infiltrates from the inside and takes it down. So when I hear the boomer generation talk about how, they're a bunch of pussies and they're this and they're that, no, they're living in a time where they didn't get to buy a house that was worth 20, 30,000. It's the American dream is shot to hell. But they infiltrate from the inside, and that's what they did the other day with Facebook. With this tail sitting on its 10th house, there's a lot of upheaval happening. And this is going to continue for a couple of more months. Okay. And then the dragon moves into an Aries Libra axis. And actually, when that moves, let's see. Hold on. I got my notes here because I wrote a whole lot of notes on this. When that dragon's energy moves on around July 17th, 2023, the tail in Libra is going to be sitting on Facebook's 9th house, right? Yes. Facebook's 9th house. The 9th house is foreigners, foreign lands. It also represents laws, courts, justice. It rules traveling. It rules animals. There's going to be issues coming in for Zuckerberg and his company during that time. The house of communication, but the planets, that house is all clear of any planets. So, however, Jupiter is moving through the 3rd house right now for Facebook, helping them. That covers their ass in some way. For 2026, I don't think there'll be a Facebook. I think it'll be something else because this guy, Zuckerberg, is going to have to reinvent himself. Meta is shit. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with that. I invest in certain companies. Meta, I don't do any business with Meta. I've refused. I prefer to to work with XRP and deal with that, but I won't deal with Meta. Hold on a minute. I need to let a cat out. I'll be right back. Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. So anyway, so as we sit, this company's Dragon's Head is in a score birth coming from the 10th house of this company, which makes absolute sense. They're in the hot seat right now. Let me go to my software because I have it up and running here. Hold on. So anytime we're dealing with an Aquarian sun, and even though Facebook is a company, some of the violations that people have gotten are actually quite ridiculous on this app. And then there's some that are actually needed. But anytime you're dealing with a sun in Aquarius, this makes perfect sense because social media is an air energy. Social media rules TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, all these companies. But when it's erected in a sun in Aquarius, it does have the ebb and flow to move. There's an old expression, millionaires don't follow astrology, but billionaires do. And I wouldn't put it past some of our top billionaires to know the stars. They're not going to tell you they know the stars, but I wouldn't put it past Zuckerberg to know the stars. I wouldn't put it past Bill Gates to know the stars. I wouldn't put it past Elon Musk to know the stars. However, if Elon Musk really knew the stars, he would choose the launching of his spaceships a little differently. So he may not know, but Zuckerberg might have known the stars to create a company like this. Zuckerberg's stars he is not a stupid man, but he is fueled by jealousy. And like I said in my last video, he has the green-eyed dragon, as I call it, of jealousy on the CEO of TikTok. He's just absolutely livid with him. Now I do need to really let a cat out. I will be right back. Go. Get out. All right. I know and follow the stars. I know you do, my brother. I know you do. So yes, it's not an accident that he erected this in a Aquarius sun. It makes perfect sense. That would be what I'd do if I was creating a social media network. Absolutely. All right, let me move my water and scroll down. So if you look at the first house, it has the sun, but it also has Neptune. And Neptune in its positive is about lucid dreams. It's also about deep downloads and deep intuition, but it can also be illusions and delusions. And here is where the false advertising comes in, because what our government is accusing TikTok of is exactly what Facebook has been doing for years. So I kind of find it a bit hypocritical. I get a lot of good news from TikTok, and it's just who you follow. When that train derailment happened in Palestine, our mainstream media took about 7 days to report on that incident, as to where TikTok, I was able to see it right away because people in that town were videotaping the sky, the horizon, and all of it. That's why they want to get rid of it, because Mark Zuckerberg's owned by our government. He's paid off by our lobbyists. I've seen his stars, and it's about money. Money, 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 money. But when you have Neptune sitting in the first house as well, right there next to the sun, let me scroll down to Neptune. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. So Neptune in the first is going to make someone very hypersensitive, and like community guideline violations. I've gotten some of the most ridiculous community guideline violations on Facebook. No, Christopher, it is nothing like it. No, Facebook or Zuckerberg. I bet its chart is similar to mine and yours. Is at a similar latitude to mine. No, because we're not dealing with a human being. We're dealing with an entity, a company, a corporation. Contrary to what Mitt Romney has said in the past, corporations are not people. Okay? There's no emotions in a corporation. Mammals have emotions. Corporations do not. But I hope I'm understanding that correctly. So let me know, Christopher, if I've read that wrong. But anytime we're dealing with Neptune in Aquarius, this is where there's strong humanitarian ideas and ideals, and there's been a lot of great activism on Facebook. I will say that, but there's also been, you got it, okay. So, okay, I'm trying to see what that means. Facebook is like a chameleon, okay? And it can wear different personas. Anytime you have Neptune sitting in the first, this is what it does. It can take on different personas. So one day it can be broadcasting or depending on the algorithm, which I personally think Facebook's algorithm is incredibly weak compared to TikTok's. I have had more business come through TikTok and YouTube than I've ever had on Facebook. Facebook hasn't done jack shit for me in my business, but that's just me. So yes, like a chameleon, this is it can be a chameleon, and it'll like the algorithm will attach to anything that's popular right now. Like during 2016 election was insane on Facebook. Anyway, moving on. So let's move on to the second house. So if the first house is the soul's purpose of the app, the second house is its money. And in the second house, it turns into a Pisces, and it has Uranus and Venus stationed in the second. This is the house of money and wealth, self-esteem. So let me go and scroll up to my notes on this. Let's talk about Uranus first. When you have Uranus sitting here in Pisces, it's really about helping a downtrodden society. I mean, that's kind of what Facebook has done in some ways, is helped a downtrodden society. When it's in the second, though, it really has to do with it's about the love of money, okay? And let's see, this app will experience many encounters with unexpected changes to its finances. So, I mean, like right now, I know its stocks I think its stocks have dropped because Gen Z went in yesterday or the last couple of days and gave it 1 stars, and that's kind of affecting it. But there is a lot of illusions and delusions with this app. I mean, through the years, people have gotten divorces over this app. There have been secret love affairs created with this app. There's been false information on this app on both sides of the spectrum. Okay. And that creates the Uranus in the second house. Please remember, Uranus is the sudden release of energy, shocking news. And through the years, this platform has had very shocking news. I am so sorry. It's very windy here today, and my allergies are acting up, and I'm coughing really bad because of it. I do apologize, you guys. Now, moving on, it does have Venus in the second house too, and in Venus in Pisces. Venus in the second house is very compatible because Taurus rules Venus, and in basic astrology, the second house is ruled by Taurus and Venus. So this is where a lot of love affairs have started. Let me go down. Let me go up to Venus. Right? That is Venus. Hold on, you guys. I got to look at something because it's too small and I'm blind. Yes, that is Venus. Okay. Had to make sure, okay? So anytime you have Venus in the second house, this is where good energy comes from finances and things like that. And Facebook has had its years of good finance and people, paying for stuff and making money. And I guess now people aren't, I guess Zuckerberg did something last week, getting rid of the creator content where you make money. And this is another thing. I know people on TikTok that are making a lot of money. And that's another thing. Our government, doesn't want our people to make money. I don't get it. Let's see, what else can I say about Venus in the second before I move on? This is a placement that's highly emotional, so especially when it comes to money, but you've seen how shit hits the fan on this app, so it would make total sense. Okay, moving on to the third house. I'll take my cursor and show you. Third house right here is all clear, and it's in Aries, and right now Jupiter is moving through that house until mid-May. So there is a little bit of luck when it comes to communication in this house, but that will change very soon. The Dragon's Head is in the fourth house. So moving on to the fourth, we've got Mars and we've got the Dragon's Head sitting in the fourth. The fourth is home, family, security. So anytime, this has been a very popular app with housewives, women that spend a lot of time at home, things like that. It's been brought into the home and has been very successful. Let's see here. Mars is in the fourth, and that's in Taurus, right? February, March, April, May. Okay, let me scroll and find. Anytime you have a dragon's head in Taurus, it is a dragon's head that's going to make you a lot of money. Okay, you have the stars to succeed. Abundance and wealth come to you easily. That's the millionaire's placement in some ways. Like I talked about Zuckerberg's stars, him having a millionaire's placement. Well, his company has a millionaire's placement too. So it wouldn't shock me if Zuckerberg had some common knowledge of the stars. He's just not going to advertise it to you. Okay, and even though Zuckerberg is a Taurus himself, the stellium sitting in Scorpio, he's more Scorpio than he is a Taurus. But we're talking about Facebook right now. So let me go to Mars, which is all the way up. Hold on. It's kind of hard to work on two screens. It gets a little confusing. Okay, bear with me. Mars, 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 where are you? So anytime you do have Mars in Taurus, it's about solid power to reach balance and harmony in a lot of ways. Having it in the 4th. There it is. This is a very persistent energy. It won't stop or back down. It will keep going and keep going. So like I said, in the years to come, Facebook will probably have to reinvent itself. It probably won't be Facebook. It'll be something else around 2026, 2027. But this is an app that generates a lot of money and material possessions for its owner. It's been a very lucrative investment for shareholders, etc. All right, moving on. Like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time. The 5th house is in Gemini. And I said it's all clear, but like I said, the ascending and the black moon Lilith that you see sitting there is not going to be accurate without a birth time. So we're going to disregard it. But let's move on to the 6th house. Now, the 6th house is the house of health and service to the world. And this app has a Saturn. We're not going to pay any attention to the moon right there because the moon is an emotion. It's the emotional energy. We're going to focus on Saturn, though, in the 6th house. So this is not an accident that Saturn... God, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. This is not an accident that Saturn's in the 6th. In the 6th house, this app becomes a Cancer, and Saturn rules old age. This is why boomers are on here and some Gen Xers. You know, this is why you hear Gen Z go, I hate Facebook. It's made for old people. Yeah. And if Zuckerberg doesn't get on board and get with the times, that generation's dying. He's going to have to do something with his algorithm to make it better. Because as it stands, there's not, TikTok's winning the battle here. That's what I'm going to say. Let me go and see what the stars and the charts say about this. That was just my own words and my own notes. Yeah. Saturn. So Saturn, when you have Saturn in Cancer, it is very productive, and Facebook has been very productive. It's industrious and it's practical, and that is what the app does. But like I said, this is an app that caters more towards the older generation than it does the younger. It offers nothing to the younger generation, and that's why he will lose money. That's why he's going to have to reinvent and revamp this app to make it better. All right, moving on to the 7th house, all clear. So we're not going to focus on that, but we are going to jump to the 8th house, because in the 8th house, the inception of this app, Facebook, has a Jupiter in the 8th, and the 8th house is the house of life, death, rebirth, transformations, and there is a lot of life, death, rebirth, and transformation happening here. But this app has Jupiter sitting there, and this is anytime you have Jupiter sitting in the 8th, this has to do with luck, with editing, plants, writing, service to the world. In some ways, this is about endeavors relating to communication. However, the negative side of this is a negative obsession with purity. And I could see that in some of the community guideline violations. I mean, some of the violations are absolutely needed, but there are some violations that are like just absolutely ridiculous and anal. And it's like, okay, fuck you, Facebook. Pardon my French. So yeah, when you have the Lord of Luck sitting in your 8th house, this is where it will, like I said, I don't think Facebook will die, but it will transform itself into something else or something. He's going to have to do something better in order to compete. All right, the 9th house, moving into the 9th, it is all clear, and it stays all clear until July 17th, 2023, when the universal dragon moves out of a Taurus Scorpio axis and into an Aries Libra. Then the tail will be sitting right on the 9th and the 3rd, and the 3rd in Aries means there will be more aggressive initiatives because it's in Aries with communication and writing, and he will probably take an aggressive initiative between the latter part of 2023 and all of 24 to revamp Facebook, make it better. But the tail will be sitting in the 9th house, and that is the house of laws, courts, justice, foreigners, foreign lands. So foreigners will not be using this app as much. They will steer clear of it more. He will lose a lot of foreign supporters in some way. But this also is laws. So there's going to be things being exposed in the next year and a half about him and his lobbyists, because there's lobbyists that are involved with Facebook. In fact, if you go far enough down the rabbit hole, you will notice that a lot of the Congress that is against TikTok are also have a shit ton of shares in Facebook and Meta. So, like I always say, follow the money and you will find the culprit with anything. All right, moving on to the 10th house, which is, there's a natal dragon's tail sitting there. Like I said, Wheel of Fortune isn't going to be accurate because I don't have a birth time. That is the 10th house. So with a natal dragon's tail sitting in Scorpio in the 10th house. Okay, well, see, Facebook has a libertarian stance, which is incompatible with you. Now, I get that then. That makes absolute sense because Pluto has just entered Aquarius. So you've also got Pluto sitting on Facebook's first house of soul's purpose, transformation, and transition. Like I said, the next 4 months are a precursor to what's getting ready to happen when Pluto goes permanently into Aquarius. I don't know when that is, September something 2024, September 17th, I think. But the libertarian stance, which steers more to a conservative stance in some ways, Aquarius is not conservative. Aquarius is radical, revolutionary, community, helping your fellow man. Pluto and Capricorn is where corporations are people and government is in control and government wants to control your life. For those of you out there, before I go on, I want to say something. I got to find it though before I open my big mouth. Before I go on, you all owe it to yourself to take some time to read. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Senate Bill number 8689. Go read it. And I went down the rabbit hole the other night and read about 2 hours of it. And if that ain't Nazi Germany, I don't know what is. So, Christopher, I agree with you with the libertarian stance and with the world going forward. The tried and true isn't working anymore. Industrial is going away. It's becoming technical. The industrial revolution is dead and the technical revolution is here. You either get on board or get left behind. It's one of the two. And that's where Facebook needs to get its shit together. Like I said, it's just for old people. Saturn in the 6th makes perfect sense. But anytime you have a dragon's tail here, this is where the business that was created on lies and theft and deceit, and it might have very well been a business created on lies, theft, and deceit. All right, moving on. So Facebook has a Pluto sitting in its 11th house, and the Pluto's in Sagittarius. A natal Pluto in Sag is about foreigners, foreign lands, travel, courts, laws, justice. It's in Sag, but it's in the 11th house. So this means that he is having a little pull from his lobbyists who are in courts and justice. You may think I'm crazy now, but it will all come out in the wash eventually. Utah went with a Russian-style form of censorship, limiting online time for people who can't verify their age. I know. I believe that. I believe that. If you don't think this country is slipping into fascism, you've had your head up your fucking ass. Sorry. Usually Pluto, the Pluto in Sagittarius generation is the Gen Z generation, and it's sitting right on Zuckerberg's house of friends and wishes. So if he doesn't do something to revamp his platform, that generation is going to destroy him. He needs to revolutionize his platform for higher education. Well, fascism isn't compatible with most everybody, unless you're Ron DeSantis. My relatives left Italy because of this shit. Okay. So fascism isn't compatible with most everybody, unless you're a freaking Nazi and you have a Nazi or racist mentality. Then you love it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful, right? And moving on, not too much going on in the 12th house. Mercury sitting there in Capricorn, which is the communication and the thought process of the app, which makes it have analytical thinking, simply put. So that is a simple rundown of the stars of Facebook. Like I said, next year, 2, maybe 3, this is a company that's going to go through a lot of transitions, a lot of revamping. They're going to have to change some things. Please remember, when we're Pluto in Aquarius, this is about revolution and revolutionary times. You're seeing it in France. They're protesting. I'm sure shit's going to hit the fan here soon with some kind of protest. We're in the age of Aquarius, so buckle up. You're going to have to get a strong shell on your back. This energy is not for the lighthearted. This is where civil war can happen as well. So Pluto's in my first. Also, I'm heading into a revolution. I didn't know Pluto was in your first house. No, Pluto. Wait a minute. Well, yes, it's moving. You're not natally, is it? No, it can't be natally. But yes, no, your natal Pluto, Christopher, is in Virgo. But that planet is sitting on your first house right now in Aquarius. Yes, very true. Absolutely, that makes sense. So yes, there was a lot of transition for a lot of Aquariuses. I'm Capricorn. I had the damn thing at my house since 2008, and I think back to all the things that have happened to me. I foreclosed on a house. I relocated to another state. I bought another house in another state. That is Pluto sitting on the first house of the soul's purpose, creating life, death, rebirth, and transformations. I mean, so yeah, now it's your turn, Aquarius. Enjoy. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, that is about it. Now, Christopher, Since you're in here, do you want me to pull up your chart and give you a little mini reading while I'm on here? I'll wait and see what you say. I might even have you in here already. One thing I've learned about Pluto is you just take it in strides and take it one day at a time. Now, I know for myself, 2008 was about the time I was a student in astrology. I think I had just graduated. And that's okay, hon. I'm glad you're enjoying it. What was I saying? When I had Pluto sitting on my first house, it was a time of transition. And um, there were things I was fighting to not get rid of, but the stars just kept forcing me out of situations and forcing me on to other things. And one thing about Pluto is you do kind of have to go with the flow of it. Your dreams, well, your dreams are already wild because you have a moon in Cancer, hon. But I could have sworn I had your chart in here already, Christopher. Hold on, I'm looking. I do. All right, let's bring your chart up. You're born at 1:20 p.m.? I got it right. I have it. You're my brother from another mother. Of course I'm going to have it. And you and I, our stars are very similar. You and I both share the same dragon head and tail. You and I share the same hidden dragon head and tail. But there are some differences. I mean, like you have the moon in your 7th house in Cancer. My moon's in the 12th house. Cancer moons are usually very, very psychic and have a lot of psychic ability. My moon's in Sagittarius, but it's in the 12th, but I have Neptune sitting in my 12th. So do you. You have Neptune in your 12th. So this creates those vivid dreams, those psychic abilities. I have them, psychic abilities, and they work when I want them to work, but not all the time. Okay. And it usually has to do with a lot of the stress that's going on, me not grounding myself properly. It kind of freaked my family out the other day. It was yesterday. I was that shooter in Tennessee came in and shot in that Christian school. I said to my family, I go, I'm going to tell you right now the energy I'm picking up on this. I said, that person was probably a student at this school and was abused in some way, either sexually, physically, verbally. And as time goes on, I don't give a shit whether the student was transgender or not. That's not my issue. Sure enough, more and more shit is coming out. Now there's the former principal of that school. There's some discrepancies going on. I'm not going to say he did molestation or anything because I don't have the facts yet, and I'm not going to bring that up. But I said to my family, I'm picking up an energy that something happened to this student at this school, and this student's looking for a little revenge. In fact, the 2 teachers he took out were, see, Lady Eyes of Green. I think most of us that are in the esoteric world and have abilities and strong intuition and psychic abilities, I felt that right away. Not that that's a justification to do that. My understanding is the 2 teachers he took out were his former teachers or her. I'm not sure if it's I don't have my pronouns correct, I don't think. So I do apologize. Nashville is a place where students used to be paddled for even minor offenses. Oh my God, like corporal punishment. Oh, that's horrible. But anyway, Christopher, back to you. Um, you have a lot of psychic abilities, and you have a Jupiter in your 11th house, just like I do. It's in Scorpio, so this is where, um, well, for me, I'm gifted in witchcraft. It's I will always have luck in witchcraft because I have a Scorpio in Jupiter. Ours is sitting our 11th house, which is friends and wishes. So we will have a lot of luck with a lot of our friends making our wishes come true and us being at the right place at the right time. Right now, though, we do have that universal dragon sitting there on the 11th house. So I can't speak for you, Christopher, but for myself, this is where I've had a lot of friends either have health issues or have lost their life since this placement has happened. Or I've just had some falling outs with friends. So that's one thing about friends. You either have friends for a season or a lifetime, and they're here for a reason to teach us lessons. So then the next energy that moves, it moves into a Libra, Aries, and that's our 4th house, Christopher. So there might be some good news with a new home, relocation of some sort. You're going to be blessed, Christopher, that come the latter part of this year with some good security of the 4th house of home and family and security and real estate. Maybe you make a move somewhere. That is a possibility with to near closer to family, but it's sitting in your 4th house. You're blessed. You'll be blessed with some good energy coming for the latter part of 2023. I hope that helped, my brother. And I am just about out of here. I hope you enjoyed this. I tried to make it short and sweet, and it's kind of funny. I get a lot of shit for doing this because some of the comments, my comments are restricted, and you only see certain ones. The ones that are more offensive don't get put up there. But one thing I will say about my method of astrology is that time will always be my true confidant. Okay, you could sit there and tell me I'm this and I'm that and I suck and I didn't get this right and I didn't get that right. Time will always be my true confidant. In the couple of weeks to come, I will post the Taurus, Scorpio, Dragons axis that I posted to Patreons that give all the predictions. Why are you freaked out? Oh, well, you are. You're moving somewhere better, somewhere better. Okay. Don't freak out. It's written in the stars, baby. It's written in the stars. And the Kelly runic symbol. What do you mean, Kelly runic symbol? Celtic runic symbol? Okay. Okay. Let's end it with a tarot. Or not a tarot. Let me end what I just said to you with a ruin card. Or with a oracle card. Okay. And then I really do have to go. And while I'm shuffling these, I do want to let all of you know I'm starting to do something a little different. So every Friday, I have Lady Eyes of Green. If you want one pulled, just holler. I know the work day is ending for you. So maybe I'll do yours first before I do Christopher's because I know you're leaving for work. Well, I just... I know. All Irish royalty use the runic symbol. Okay. So I'm going to start doing something called Financial Fridays. And every Friday, it'll probably be pre-recorded in Premiere. And we're going to talk about the economy. Okay. And I've got some things I have to share with you, and that'll be on Friday because I don't know how to sugarcoat this, and my Patreons are going to get it all tonight when I go in and explain it. But this solar eclipse that's coming isn't going to be all rainbows and lollipops. Okay. There's a fuckery coming within the banking system, and most Americans are effing clueless to this, but something major is getting ready to happen between the eclipse and between the month of May. And half the world is not even you're oblivious to this. So Friday, I'm going to play you clips to show you facts, figures of what is getting ready to happen. I don't know if you've ever heard BRICS, but you should start researching that because BRICS is getting ready to fuck the United States hard. We are no longer the top dog. Like some of you are. No, you're no longer the top dog. And our American dollar is getting ready to be devalued. But I'm going to play you a clip of something the president, I think it was South Africa, said to his people that we should be planning on doing in the next 2 weeks. Not us, South Africans, and what they're planning on doing. South Africa, Brazil, China, Iran, Russia. I know I'm leaving a few out. Okay, Lady Isa Green, you're first. This is just for Lady Isa Green. I hope you're going to have a hard time seeing it, but you got Goddess of the Moon. Hold on here. 52. Okay, Goddess of the Moon. Oh, God, you're not going to be able to see it. Let me see if I could do something so you could see it better. Hold on. Okay. Because I have that green screen up. Anyway, it's Goddess of the Moon. It is in reverse. So anytime we're dealing, it's usually about intuition and going deep within. The Brazilian people are angry about it. They want to decouple from BRICS. Well, I think you have to understand how our economy was created. And the American economy since 1971 was created on dishonesty. But, Pam, for the Goddess of the Moon in reverse, this card reveals blocked intuition and inner disconnect. I'm not going to read it all, but what it's about being more grounded, finding your balance so that you can tap into your intuition more, if that makes any sense. It's a little short but sweet, but does that make any sense? Christopher, you're next. And then I really do have to go. It just says let me just finish reading it then to you. Then stay the course is what it's telling you to do, because it says here, this is also about extreme worry. Is there any extreme worry going on in your life? Or discontent with an obstacle that's happening? This message of dissatisfaction where your inner life is connected. Let me just read you the affirmation. Okay, you can relate. So let me just read the affirmation because it's beautiful. I have a strong intuitive voice, which you do. I freely receive guidance and I understand and trust the messages I receive. So mote it be. I'm glad you can relate to that. Just keep doing the work. Okay, Christopher. Just keep doing the work. Okay, Christopher, what messages does Spirit have for you, especially since I just did a little mini reading rundown? Any added messages for Christopher? Bear with me, Christopher. My cards are sticking together. You are so very welcome. I'm glad your workday is ending and drive home safe. I hear there's another storm moving into the West Coast, so please be careful out there, Lady Eyes of Green. All right, Christopher, messages. Okay, you're not going to be able to see it that well, but it is the card number 8, which represents indecisions. But card number 8, the number 8 is also a money card. In some ways, it represents, I bet you are. Could you send some of that our way? We need it. Number 8 is an infinity number, Christopher. Which choice to make? So right now, Christopher, you have a decision to make. You're at a crossroads in some ways, and there's a decision that has to be made. You will know what that is more than I will. This card marks and represents 2 or more possible choices in your life right now. It shows you anxiously looking at 2 roads, wondering which one is the better choice. You could spend days, months, or even years in the back and forth energy, all the while feeling your focus and your life force energy draining away. So you need to really listen to your intuition here too, Christopher. Both of you that are in my chat right now, the 2 of you, you both have abilities, and you both have gifts, and they might be harnessed in different ways. Okay, but you both have psychic abilities, intuitive. One in there is a healer, an energy worker. But it's time for you to go off the analysis and self-doubt that have been keeping you stuck. Meditate on your options, Christopher, and your meditation and your prayers will give you direct answers. Follow your heart and make the honoring choice. Your affirmation, Christopher, is I release fear and I move forward with courage and trust. I have the power to direct my own destiny now and always. So mote it be. I hope that helped, Christopher. You have a choice to make. You have decisions. You have a good evening too. Okay, sounds good, love. Drive safe. Talk to you soon. Ciao. Christopher, you have choices to make here, hon. You're very welcome. Hang in there. And all of you that have tuned, thank you for tuning. I will be back on Friday. Even if it's a pre-record, I will be in the chat answering questions for you. Sometimes it's easier for me to do a pre-record and get in the chat and interact with you all than me going live, because then I don't get to interact. So I've got the hiccups and I can't stop cupping. All of you out there have a great Wednesday. Be safe. Ciao, Christopher. Ciao, Lady Eyes of Green. And all of you out there, I will see you on Friday. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.